Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Ooh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all, shimmy, yam, shimmy, yeah. Give me the mic so I can take it away. Off on the natural charge, bon voyage. Yeah, from the home of the Dodger Brooklyn squad. Wu-Tang Killer, bees on the swarm. Rain on your college ass disco dorm. For you to even touch my skill, you gotta go to one killer bee, and he ain't gonna kill now. Chop that down, pass it all around. Lyrics get hard, quick cement to the ground. For any MC in any 52 states, I get psycho. Killer Norman Bates, my producer slam. My flow is like.
Welcome back to Ready Player U. It's a special Saturday edition. I'm Mike.
And I'm Matt.
And this is Cody motherfucking Tucker. Can you believe it?
I can't.
Holy shit, dude. I've had a million fucking questions I've been dying to ask you. Been following you for the longest time on Instagram on our professional accounts. I gotta say, I've learned more from you about rock history and musical history than I have in school or fucking from the History Channel. It's been absolutely insane.
Dude,
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I mean, it's sad that it is that way,
Right?
Yeah.
but but no, I appreciate it, man.
No, we learn more from social media nowadays. I mean, because when we were in school, you know, we had no shitty computers. I'm not sure how old you are, but you know, me and Mike,
Yeah.
we're both 42.
I'm 30.
30?
Okay, so
Yeah.
so it is a little bit before your time. No offense.
Yeah.
But you know, like we didn't have, you know, like the internet and everything, and that was coming out when we were in junior high.
Yeah.
So now to be able to, you know, do what we do now,
It's
you know,
mind-blowing.
Yeah, because I mean, me and him, we've been friends for 30 years, over 30 years practically since junior high.
Damn.
And
Yeah, we became friends when you were born.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Now I gotta
Jesus.
ask, you got Raquel Welch behind you.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's one of the most iconic, you know, pictures, especially in Shawshank Redemption, one of my favorite
Yeah.
movies of all time. Now, have you actually watched the movie?
This one you talk about 10, was it 10
1 million,
a
years,
million
BC?
years BC?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
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 Amazing.
I've never
Yeah.
seen it. All I
Oh,
know,
it's terrible.
all
The graphics.
yeah. I mean, all I know is her in just the bikini, and that's what everybody always gets off on.
Oh, it's the only reason anyone ever watched that movie. It's the
Yeah.
only reason anyone watched it when it came out. Today doesn't matter. It's the
Yeah.
only actually it's about the only reason anyone watched any movie she was ever in.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
Um,
she was really good to look at, and
Yeah. Yeah.
So, a huge question I've been dying to ask.
Okay.
What got you started in this, and what was your big aha moment interviewing the first porn star, the first Nick Swartzen? Jesus Christ, you got Nick Swartzen on there. That's so
Yeah, that
fucking
was-
cool.
Yeah, that was a crazy one.
How did
for
you get
sure.
started?
and your first episode was with Tice Shanti.
Yeah, Tasha's. Yeah, Shanti. Yeah, that was the first. Well, that was the first one that's on. That was
YouTube.
video. Like I
Yes.
had some audio. The first one I did was actually with David Naughton from American Werewolf in London.
No
way.
way.
So yeah, and he's one of those things like I'm making it. It was a
Oh,
big
well,
thing
I
in
know-
the 70s.
I know Rick Baker, Monster Maker. That's how he got his start, is doing his homemade makeup kit. He got started in
Yeah.
that. He has a huge following on Instagram. I mean, American
Oh,
Werewolf.
he's
in London.
amazing.
Yeah, dude. Oh my God. So, what inspired you to get started into podcasting?
So I actually had some friends who had started a podcast, and like I did some like audio work. I mean, like working on music and stuff like that. So I kind of had like a little bit of a background in, you know, how to record and things like that. So they just asked me to help, like basically as a producer.
Yeah.
I was like, sure. Like, yeah, I had nothing to do, so why not? And then they started just like kind of asking my opinion on things. So I started like becoming like part of the podcast. And then I was like, and then I started booking the guests, and they kind of, then I just started thinking, I was like, well, there's a lot of guests that they don't care to talk about, to talk to, that I definitely would.
Yeah.
So I might just make my own podcast and talk to whoever I want to talk to, and, you know, talk about
Exactly.
the things I'm interested in. So that's how
Wow.
it, kind of started from there.
What's your setup that you run? Because you have a great voice for this. No homo, but you have a great voice for
Thank
this. and we recently heard that we have good voices for this, and I thought,
Yeah.
okay, whatever. I didn't expect
Yeah.
that, but
I hate hearing my voice. I will not go back
Yeah.
and listen to our podcasts. Audio.
Yeah.
If something I think was good, like last night we did an episode, and so I'm like, screw it. I'm at home. I'm a little buzzed. You know what? Hey, let me watch the video and see how we do. And I'm like, holy crap! This is like, damn! It's like just our flow for the whole episode was like, it was so fun.
So yeah, we definitely had a good time, and it was an unwritten episode. We just kind of fucking winged it last night for hell of it.
Mhm.
But are you running a special soundboard, running on PC? How do you? Because you have
PC.
just PC.
Yeah, just with like a shitty webcam and a pretty basic mic.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
I feel like a real dumbass then, because I've poured thousands of dollars into equipment trying to sound like you and
to be like Joe Rogan.
Like Joe Rogan. Like I've poured so much money into soundboards and microphones. I got a pile behind our green screen. I got a pile of microphones totaling about $300 just trying to get that good sound out of it. And
I mean, I've used this exact same mic for the past like 5 years, which it kind of starting to smell like it.
dude, I have an extra microphone. I will totally mail it to you just because.
Well, hey, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But yeah, this mic was like $60.
Wow.
And I'm using like an audio interface that was like $50.
Wow.
Webcam was like 90. It's like just a basic 1080p.
Dude, and you
webcam.
have thousands of followers.
Yeah.
You have great audio on your records, and then I've watched like every time like I've shared a lot of your stuff, and I give you credit on your Instagram. I'm like, hey, credit to Cody Tucker, and I'm like, oh, maybe we'll get noticed or something, like some kind of fanboy. And then I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to shoot my shot, dude. Because I go out and talent scout and all that. And Matt's been out there making business cards and handing them out. Excuse me. One of our fans, Paintball Rogers, made us business cards and with our meta tag on there. And so we got a huge support system that's all behind the scenes. But you seem to do all this all on your own. You do all your own editing and everything?
Yeah, everything.
Wow.
Yeah, it's all, there's no... No, I get offered a lot. Like people will send me messages asking like, oh, I can edit videos for you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, you can't. No.
Yeah.
I mean, I just...
It's a personal thing. Like when you get that right cut and when it feels right, you know when, and not everybody else is going to have that same anal retentive perfection to it.
And you're your own critic because you know exactly how you want the things done. I was a perfectionist. I mean, just like Mike. I mean, he spends hours. We did an interview with his band Cheeseburgers. He spent almost 30 hours. 20 hours, something like that.
20 to 30 hours editing the clips and just
doing everything.
Well, we had 2 cameras set up. We finally one of our fans that made us the business cards. He's our camera guy now. And well, you're gonna have to work for free because we got no money coming in either. So, and he's like, he does it for the love of photography, and then we did it in my brother's garage because we're building a studio out of my garage so we can host more people. And so he had a camera, and so because our second camera guy failed to show up, and so I was editing video from 2 different cameras, getting rid of the audio sources, and I'm doing it in Movavi because I don't know if you use CapCut or whatever, but.
I just use Adobe Premiere Rush, the free one.
Wow. See, dude, I'm spending all this money on stuff that's...
No, dude. I'm
God. We should talk to you sooner.
No, dude. Like my desktop is like decently expensive, which I just got a new one. I was using one that was like $400, like a super cheap, like a Lenovo one or some bullshit.
Yeah.
And I just got like an HP Omen, which they're pretty good. So, and it was like, I don't know, probably like $1,300. That's the most amount of money I've ever spent. That I spent more on that desktop than everything else combined for the past like 5 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I spend very little money on anything.
I do have a question for you. So I did look some stuff up. You have 761,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah,
and
makes no fucking sense, but
dude, it does to us. It does to us.
But a lot of reels that you do with the history of what you did the one on was it with Little Richard, and then the guitarist was out showing him, and it ended up being Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
That blew me. That blew my fucking mind. I didn't know that, and I'm like, "Are you a history buff?"
Yes, yeah, that's what I was going like.
100%.
Where do you go for your your research and stuff? 'Cause I'm lead writer on all of our episodes, and I try and do the best that I can with the content that I can find. Is there certain places that you go just to find all the stuff and then put your reels together, or like how do you do all that?
It's kind of a mix. So like a lot of it is stuff that I've learned over the years, because I'm fascinated just by like with random stories of history, especially anything that has to do with like movies or music, like anything pop culture related.
Me too.
So I've like amassed just a bunch of stories like that I've just heard over the years, from like reading different books, watching documentaries. So I kind of like made a huge list of all the ones that I thought seemed interesting and was kind of going from there. But I always like try to double check them to make sure that my memory's not shit, because it kind of is. Like my memory's not
Me
that.
too.
I mean, it's
I know how
decent,
that
but
is.
it's not like I don't want to get something like completely wrong. So I'll start double checking, and then I just go down a rabbit hole while I'm doing that, and I'll end up finding like 3 or 4 other things that I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know that. That'd be interesting.
Rabbit holes are a motherfucker, aren't they? I mean,
Yeah, that's
so
all I do basically. At any given time, I'm probably 4 or 5 hours into a rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, just so you're aware, we're streaming live on rumble.com right now, and we moved to Rumble. We left YouTube streaming and just put clips up there once in a while because they told us what we can and cannot say. And we're big freedom of speech. We want to say commie, Jew, faggot, cow if we feel like it and get away with it. And, even if you're, if it's part of a joke, if it's part of whatever, no, give me the Corona.
Yeah, that's the last one.
Good. You can have the Sam Adams. I know you're not much of a drinker, Cody, but
no, I like this.
No,
Sierra
I mean,
Nevada.
I was too much of a drinker.
We just got to celebrate having you on the show, dude. It's too big of a temptation not to be like, holy shit. I mean, we're nowhere on your level, but we're huge fans.
And look, and the time is 11:11.
11:11, and today is the 10th. So,
11:11. It's like when you make a wish. Yeah.
Well, we titled the episode "Two Podcasters, One Cup."
That's fair.
We thought it would be hilarious to title it that because we're all podcasters here and huge fans, and we thought it would be a nice hat tip to the fact that you've interviewed porn stars, comedians, things like that, and we're all in one cup of live show right now.
Yeah, and that's one thing I do want to. I was looking through.
Cheers.
I'll give me a second.
Cheers.
Oh, thank you. So I was looking through your YouTube channel.
Yeah,
and seeing these different porn stars and stuff. Has there any that you haven't been able to interview but you want to? Because on that list, Good question. I didn't see 3 of my favorites on that list.
This motherfucker brought his favorites.
Who's your top 3?
Okay, so Kiara Mia, Deanna Munoz.
Yeah,
she's
she does. I don't think she does porn anymore.
No, she doesn't. No, she's like a life coach, but I mean, I think she has OnlyFans with her daughter or something.
That's weird.
Yeah, which is
yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's a fun Instagram follow.
Yeah,
if you aren't, it's just seeing her and her daughter, and you're like, boy, this is
That's like the dream.
I'm talking about.
If you're playing basketball, that's your dream team.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, she reminded me of a girl I used to see, and there's similar features and just
Jesus, good for you.
Yeah, so I mean,
bad for you, I guess, because it's used to.
He's in the middle of the shower beating off, and he's like, I miss her.
What was it in Jay and Silent Bob?
I just filled the cup, or what?
No, it was Clerks 2. The Christian kid, he's all, I'm sorry, Jesus, and he's in the corner because of watching the donkey show.
Yeah.
So Kiara Mia, Asa,
Asia Carrera.
Asia Carrera,
Oh, Asia Correa. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's one of mine. Then there was another one. I couldn't for the life of me. I couldn't think of her name. But what about Mia Khalifa? Did you ever think about maybe trying to
No,
reach out and seeing like maybe interview her?
she's no fuck. She's a piece of shit.
Is she?
Fuck Mia Khalifa.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think she like supported Islam or something, right? Or some
Oh.
terrorist crap.
well, I mean that. Yeah, I wasn't even talking about that, but that is a very fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, supporting some bullshit, which is hilarious because it's the same group of people that put like a fatwa on her to have her killed.
Yeah,
Ooh.
because
whenever
she had
she did a
the
scene wearing a hijab, and
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
boy,
yeah.
that
shit. Did
ruffled
she?
some
I didn't know
feathers.
that one.
Yes, yeah.
It was like her first big
her
scene
first scene.
that-
Yes,
Oh wait,
But
I did
no,
hear
she-
about that. Yeah.
yeah.
So she's like very now anti porn industry because she believes that she
Yeah.
was manipulated and
And
screwed over. She wasn't. She was offered a sum of money to do, I don't know, 3 or 4 scenes. They made a lot of money and she wanted to go back and demand more money and they wouldn't give it to her.
Yeah.
It's how fucking anything in show business or any form of anything works. Like if I go work at a fucking McDonald's
Right.
and they say we're going to pay you $10 an hour and I agree, that's how much money I get paid. I can't come back later and go, damn, this McDonald's is really busy, you should go back and give me more money.
Exactly.
Like I can ask for a
Contract is a
raise for the
contract.
next amount.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, which she could have done. She could have easily turned that and been like, well, damn, now I could demand a fuckload of money.
Yeah,
like
she
more
could
than almost anyone.
renegotiate or something, but don't be a bitch
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, which she didn't
Yeah.
do. So it turned into like, woe is me.
Yeah.
I'm being manipulated. And I'm not saying there aren't people that aren't manipulated.
no,
in the
no,
porn
they're
industry.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
But yeah, she wasn't.
Yeah.
And so she just made it.
And she
it's
left
turned it into
porn and
yeah.
then ended up coming back to it because I think she was at the rumors were, or the story was that she was out with somebody and they went over there and they asked if they could to get a photo with her or something. She denied them to do that. And he goes, well, maybe that's why you got some kind of fame because all you do is take cum on your face or something. And then she ran off crying about it and then decided to go back to porn because she wasn't making any money outside of that industry.
Yeah, I seen something saying the maybe a couple handfuls of scenes that she actually did. She only made like maybe $20,000, something like that.
A couple handfuls.
Yeah. Now, and another thing with Kiara Mia, she was out. I believe she was dating the quarterback from the Niners. a few
Jimmy
years ago.
Garoppolo.
Garoppolo, yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Why you
she
got to
was
bring my
banging-
Niners
yeah.
up for, man?
Yeah,
Because
Jimmy G.
it's
Well, it
going
was
into-
whenever he was I think it was whenever he was on the Raiders.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Wasn't
yeah.
it?
No, it was
no,
before he
was-
left the Niners.
He was
I
with
think.
the Niners.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it was
Oh,
rumored how
okay.
he's the pretty boy and
Yeah.
he was getting these hot chicks.
Well, I
or
knew,
whatever.
I knew that he was like, but I don't know why I thought that it was whenever he moved to Vegas to play for, because I'm a huge Raiders fan.
Yeah,
That-
you're a Raiders
and,
fan. I'm a Niners fan, and Matt here's a
uh,
Redskins fan.
Which is why I brought that up because
And
I wanted to
Yeah.
talk some
Well, just-
football with you.
My most infamous
Gotcha.
joke to him is I won't call them Washington, whatever the fuck, the
Yeah.
Click
The
Commanders.
commies.
I won't call
Commanders.
them the Click Commie Commanders. I will call them the Redskins. But I tell him, even though they're doing good this season, I tell him all the time, every year, I said, that's why you guys are called the Foreskins, because you get the chop and don't make the playoffs every year, which they're actually probably going to do
Yeah,
this year.
we will.
That's
We
gonna
have,
be
like,
interesting.
They're really
90%.
They're fucking incredible this year. Jaden Daniels is
Yeah.
The Hail Mary
Fucking
catch,
killing
holy
it.
shit, dude.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
As
he's
much as
so
I don't like
good.
the Redskins, that was phenomenal.
And
That's
then-
history book worthy.
Yeah, and it's,
Oh yeah,
and,
it already is.
and-
it's
Oh,
in
yeah.
the Hall of Fame.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah, that's
exactly,
what I was saying.
exactly.
They went to it's in Canton.
Mhm.
Noah Brown's gloves, the pylon, and the ball
And the
is
ball,
in
yeah.
the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
It just, I mean,
Deservedly so. That was incredible.
I've been a Redskin fan for shit since I was like 7 years old. So
Yeah.
most of my life.
And as much as I give him shit, I tell him, you know what? I can respect that that's your team because you have a historical reason why. I think your dad gave you a jacket
Yeah.
with that on there. And so there's history of the love of the game and where he's from. And
Yeah.
so I'm sure that's the same for you and the Raiders. I usually have the stigmatism joke that being a Raiders fan, the prerequisite is being a Mexican guy because you can go, oh, go Raiders, But so I tell that to my
It's-
Raiders
yeah.
friends, and my brother's a Patriots fan, and so And then our buddy Dennis is a Cowboys fan. So
Okay.
when we get together
Yeah.
for football Sundays, we wear our jerseys and we talk mad shit and have beer and have a great time.
Yeah.
That's
the
It's not
best.
fun unless you can talk shit.
Yeah.
No, the best is whenever all of your friends have different teams.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you kind of all show up like, especially like on a Sunday, you put on like Red Zone or something.
Oh yeah.
And or illegally stream Red Zone as most of the
Stream-
world does.
stream East.
Most of us,
Or
streaming,
Met
yeah.
streams, yeah. You put that on, and
Well, I
but
use
everybody's
Doofu.
like, because it's all important. It's every game they show is going to be important to one of you.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
So yeah, like I'm a massive Raiders fan, but I'm from Texas, like born and raised.
So
like,
why are you
East
not
Texas.
a
You know, you're
Dallas
so
fan?
lucky.
Fucking hate the Cowboys. Hate
I can't stand the
the
Cowboys either.
so much.
Well,
And I probably would
that's
be a
my
fan.
biggest
if,
rival.
Tell you what, if Jerry Jones would just like hurry up and die, I'd probably think they're all right.
You
But
know what?
he's the worst. He's the worst person to ever
Well,
be
I-
involved in football over O.J. Simpson and Aaron Hernandez.
True. Aaron
Oh,
Hernandez
yeah,
was
yeah,
a huge
that
fucking thing.
was,
The thing I give the Cowboys the most respect for, because I'm a huge patriotic dude. He said that anybody who kneels for the flag at the stadium when they're playing is fired,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, I can give you respect for that. Other than
Well,
that,
he doesn't
I don't
actually
like the Cowboys.
believe in any of that.
He
He just
doesn't.
did that. No, he just did that because it would ruffle feathers of sponsors. So he didn't want. He didn't want any of
Interesting.
the sponsors. Jerry Jones does not do anything out of
No.
the goodness of Jerry Jones' heart.
He
He
does
does
the best
things
wishes
because it
for
makes
him.
money, or he doesn't want to risk losing money.
Now,
That motherfucker doesn't care about anything. He doesn't care about this country. He's not a fucking. He's not a patriot. I'll tell you that. He is a fucking.
Like a sellout.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's just he's just like a Scrooge McDuck,
Yep.
like
Yeah,
just
that would fit.
horrible
it's
scumbag.
the
person.
revenue. That's all it is.
That's
Yeah.
all he cares about. So he saw what was happening with other teams where players would kneel and then you would have sponsors that are like, oh, well, fuck that. We're pulling out. We're
The
not sponsoring
Kaepernick.
anymore.
It started with Kaepernick.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so he was like, not letting that happen. So he's like, y'all motherfuckers better stand up. Like that was that shit had nothing to do with,
Yeah. Dude, I'm super
flag
jealous that
and
you're in
everything.
Texas. You get so many freedoms out there. We're in California. I spit and it costs me a 5% tax or something.
Yeah,
It's
that's
fucking
pretty rough.
ridiculous.
Now, something
Yeah.
with the football, with with the whole rebuilding of the Washington team.
Yeah.
Because Dan Snyder, he fucked the team for 24 years.
Yeah.
And I was reading an article, and it really like came to light just how fucked up everything was. They had said that the way Snyder was running the team, he was doing it for himself. Now, our new owner, he's running the team for the fans.
Right. It's Josh Harris, right?
Josh Harris, yes.
Yeah.
That's respectable.
Yes. And-
you got to do it for the fans because they're the ones who buy the tickets,
Yeah.
buy the jerseys, and
Well,
give you
that's-
somebody to root for.
And the
Well, that's
fans
the-
are
yeah.
like so ecstatic now because it's his first year as owner, and Magic Johnson is co-owner.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He owns some percentage of the team,
Yeah.
and now we got Jaden Daniels. You have they rebuilt with the Dan Quinn.
Yeah, it was
the
incredible.
whole coaching staff, and it's just my whole time watching football, like I've never seen my team do this well. We're 7-2. We play the
Yeah.
Steelers tomorrow. Then Thursday we get the Eagles.
That Steelers game's gonna be rough.
Exactly what I was
yeah.
saying. That's
Yeah.
what I told Matt
Yeah.
last night on our show. Is I said there's two things I don't think this country or the world is ready for, and that's a Raiders Super Bowl win or a Redskins Super Bowl win. That would cause you better buy extra insurance because there are
Yeah.
going to be riots celebrating.
I will
Yeah.
die of a heart attack if the Redskins
Whoa.
go to the Super Bowl and win.
Let me tell you. I mean, there's no chance of a Raiders Super Bowl win.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say
Anytime.
that. I mean, look at what the Redskins are doing now, and that's been
Yeah.
That's been a long time. The
Well,
last time
yeah,
the
but
Raiders went was like the 80s.
No,
Well, no, the last time
that's
they
what-
went was 2002.
Well, I
they
mean,
got the
one,
shit
I
beat
mean.
out of them.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was 85.
No.
Something like that.
No,
Yeah.
it was the 81-82 season, and they won their championship against the Redskins.
So
No, but they
I
won
thought
the
it-
Super. The last time they won the Super Bowl, I think
Yes.
was like 85.
No, it was 81-82.
No.
Yes.
Was it? No way.
Yes.
Was it
Yes, fact
really?
check him, Cody. Fact
Yeah.
check
Hold
him.
on. What? No, I mean, you might be
No,
right.
no,
Let me-
no.
I mean, you probably are.
No, you need to fact check this motherfucker.
because
You gotta call him on his shit.
I have a lot of friends that are Raider
80
fans.
84.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So
Bam.
I guess 83 to 84
Yeah.
seasons.
Hold on.
So
Yeah.
I
we're
gotta
like-
play this one for you, Cody, because you got him.
Gotcha, bitch.
It was before you were born, technically. So.
Oh yes, it was. Yeah,
Anyways.
I
Yeah.
did not get to experience a good Raiders team,
Yeah.
You know
except
what?
like for
But-
a little bit of my childhood with like Rich Gannon and all that. But that was pretty short lived.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think
yeah.
I got to meet the refrigerator once at a Kmart out here in Hanford, California. He
William
signed.
Perry.
Well, I got to. I was a Bo Jackson fan when I was a kid.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
dude
yeah.
was legendary. There's nobody that could touch him. I mean, even now he's still a legend. But
Yeah.
I met the refrigerator at the fucking Kmart when Kmart was still a thing, and he signed my hat. And I don't know where it is right now, but I would love to have it
Damn.
just for memorabilia,
Mhm.
and so I could talk shit back when a Raiders fan sees it in my house and be like, "Whoa, what are you doing with that?" But-
yeah.
So,
yeah, Bo Jackson like transcends any team.
dude,
That's just-
baseball, football.
Yeah, I mean, he's just the greatest athlete, probably the greatest all-around athlete of all time.
Yeah.
Bo knows.
Bo knows. I
Yeah,
have the
Bo.
actual baseball card of him with his shoulder pads on and the arms over the baseball bat.
Oh yeah.
I have that physical card, and people
Oh,
are
that's
trying to
awesome.
buy it from me. I'm like, dude, I can't. That's my favorite player
Nah.
from back in the day. The huge
Yeah.
question I had for you was, how did you get Nick Swartzen and the other comedian there? I can't seem to remember his name to save my life, but
Not
he's-
Godfrey.
Greg Fitzsimmons.
who?
Greg
Fitzsimmons.
No,
Godfrey.
Or Godfrey.
There's Godfrey, and then let's see. it was on your Instagram. Let me pull it up
yeah.
so I can find it.
So, while he's doing that,
yeah.
oh, are you a big wrestling fan?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty much pure white trash. So you put any, hand me over any of those things. I'm
Well,
Yeah.
I always
yeah.
tell, because I was dating a girl one time and she goes, "What nationality are you?" Because she could see I could get a tan. And I said, "Well, I'm half white, I'm half Mexican." And I said, "I don't know if I want to live in a trailer park and marry my cousin or do concrete and drywall." And she starts laughing. I said, "Well, let me tell there's a caveat to this. I have German in my history, so God forbid I go blind, because then I cannot see." And she starts dying laughing. She goes,
Nice.
"That's it. I got laid off of that joke." So that was pretty awesome.
Congrats.
So I do want to ask, DDP.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Dumb,
This guy,
yeah.
okay, let me preface this. Matt is one of the hugest wrestling
Yes.
fans, so you guys hit it off right away on this, and he's been dying to ask you this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now he has the DDP yoga, because I
Yeah.
know that he's had a lot of neck surgeries, and the yoga, and he's helped out Jake Snake Roberts. He
Yeah.
helped out Scott Hall before he passed away.
Mick Foley.
Mick Foley, yeah.
Yeah. And Butterbean. He's doing a bunch of stuff with Butterbean.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
Butterbean was hilarious
I
when he
didn't-
did Jackass movies. That was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
and,
Butterbean,
and,
yeah.
and he gave what's his name, a real concussion.
Johnny Knoxville.
Knoxville, yeah.
Yeah, it
Knocked
was
the fuck
department
out.
store boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knocked his ass into that like jewelry cabinet. Yeah.
So besides DDP, have you interviewed anybody else or is there somebody that you would love? I mean, you're in Texas. Why not reach out to the Undertaker?
He's gonna jizz his pants if you say the Undertaker, because
Oh my!
I would love to interview old Mark Calloway.
Yes.
That's how, I mean, number one on my list of any field, any genre, it doesn't matter, wrestling, movie, sports, is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh yeah,
that
yeah,
is-
another Texas boy. Yeah,
I know that is like, if I was a Make-A-Wish kid and that could be my wish, was to do a podcast with one person, I was fucking
well, I
Stone
mean,
Cold all
I'm gonna
day.
start a foundation called the Make-A-Wish OCD or something, because I definitely have. I thing's got to be straight and shit, and I got some
Yeah.
kind of. I'm on some kind of spectrum. I know it. I just haven't found the
yeah.
spectrum.
Well, where would the Undertaker be on that list? If you couldn't get
of
Austin-
all time or just wrestling?
Yeah, no. If you couldn't get an interview with
Austin.
what would Undertaker be?
I mean,
number two?
wrestlers. For wrestlers, yeah, Undertaker would probably be number two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think he would have to be number two. Yeah, for sure.
Hogan would be like not even in my top 10.
Yeah,
I cannot
I'm not
stand Hogan. Definitely Bret Hart. Definitely the top 5.
Bret Hart would be up there. Bret Hart would definitely be up
uh,
there. I've reached out to Bret Hart before and
Really?
nothing.
Yeah, I
Shawn-
know. I used to make fun of Ric Flair when I was a kid, watching Ric Flair
would be
doing the
another
whoo,
one.
you know.
Yeah.
And then one day,
Yeah.
I'm in construction. I'm an electrician now. That's my day job. But I was doing a Walgreens or something somewhere in this shitty state. And there was a company out there with big yellow trucks. They were called Asphalt Design, and they had these huge turbos on them. And if you're a car guy at all, you know when they downshift or do something on a turbo,
Yeah.
it has that blow-off valve. Well, these trucks had a Ric Flair sound to them, and every time they'd shift, it'd go, whoo! And I'm like, hey, the Ric Flair trucks are here. It was fucking crazy. Oh, I found that other comedian, Mark Normand.
Oh, Mark. Yeah.
He's got that dry, straight punchline to your.
Yeah.
Oh, he's legendary. How did you get him? And
incredible.
how did you get him and Nick Swartzen? I mean, you reached out and just shot your shot, and they said, "Fuck it, let's do it."
Well, they both were I noticed that they were following me, and then like
Wow.
pretty much every time I would make a post of it, or not every time, but like a lot of the videos, like they would like it or whatever. And but then Mark Norman actually did a shout out to me on their podcast on Tuesdays with Stories.
Fucking A, dude.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, with him and Sam Morril, where they were sitting at the towards the end of most episodes, they like kind of recommend something to each other, like a movie or like a page that they found or whatever. And Mark Norman, he recommended me on there, and I don't really watch any podcasts anymore.
Yeah.
But I do watch that one like pretty often, and I just hadn't seen that episode yet because it was like that day or whatever. And I saw a bunch of comments saying like Mark Norman brought me here. I'm only here because of Mark Norman, whatever. And I was like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Wow.
And then one of the somebody had DM'd me saying like, hey man, congratulations on the shout out. And I was like, what shout out? They were like, and the guy was like, oh yeah, on Tuesdays of Stories, like Mark Norman shouted you out. So I immediately went to it, and sure enough, I was like, holy shit. So I reached out to him and was like, man, thank you for, the shout out or whatever.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
How did you get the first porn star? How did you get the first? I mean, I seen. Oh, is it on Instagram or is it on your Instagram where you have it pinned to the top? You were doing stand-up comedy. I thought it was hilarious. Dude, you had me rolling. You're like, apparently a Prozac gives you, I gained 80 pounds on that, so there must be so much in each tablet. And I'm like, that's fucking dope, dude.
Yeah. Or is it, how many calories are in a goddamn Prozac?
Yeah.
That
was good.
Man, I haven't done stand-up in a while. I was doing it for a little bit, and then just had some I don't know, mental health issues, if you want to call it that. But I have some pretty bad anxiety, like agoraphobia, just
fear of outdoor open spaces, things.
Yeah, or just leaving the house in general.
Yeah.
And unfortunately you kind of have to do that to do stand up.
Well, you wouldn't notice it based on your posts. I mean, dude, I've definitely learned a lot from you.
Well, thanks, man. Well, it helps because
works.
I can do this, in my house. so it's nice. Like,
you get paid to do this for a living now? That's
that's
fucking awesome, dude.
Now.
I am up for adoption.
I'll look into it.
All
there's a couple of Filipino kids I think ahead of you. But,
well, I come with a grandchild, so there's 2 dependents right there, and I go to bed.
If I can claim you, if I can claim you on taxes, I'll take all of you.
Yeah, there we go.
So I'm curious to go back to the wrestling thing.
Okay.
No, just because you got to talk to Diamond Dallas Page. And he was definitely one of my favorites in WCW back in the day. So
sure.
how did you get the interview with DDP? I mean, he's a legend.
His people reached out and they said that he was a fan of the videos.
No way.
Yeah, which I was well, yeah, I mean, it fucking blew my mind because I was
what an honor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, they were the guy was he was like, yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with Diamond Dallas Page, but he's a fan. He kind of wanted to reach out and see if you would be interested maybe in having him on your podcast. I was like, yeah, I think I'm interested.
You hold an internal monologue. You're screaming like, holy fucking shit, yeah. And then outside you're like, yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Oh, I didn't know. I don't ever play. I mean, I sent it back. I was like, yes, 50 exclamation marks. I was like, I am a massive fan. Yes.
Can you get us in touch with the DDP?
Oh my God.
I mean, I would love because his WCW career was phenomenal. I watch wrestling bios on YouTube. And they do the whole, the Monday Night Wars, what's going on Raw, what's going on WCW.
Yeah.
And so by now they're on the year 2000. So, and Eddie Guerrero, all the big names that they've already left, so they have nobody.
Yeah.
But DDP was still part of the triad. I mean, he's a former heavyweight champion. And then they get bought out and go to WWE, and they don't do shit with him, and he becomes a stalker for Undertaker's wife. And he gets his ass kicked in fucking less than 5 minutes.
Yeah. Nothing would make this guy's wet dream more real than being able to interview the same fans.
Wrestler. I don't fucking care. It
the
could
same
be
wrestlers that you've talked to. He would be over the moon.
Oh my god, I would be so honored to something like that. That would be great.
I'll do what I can.
You're a gentleman and a scholar for even considering it.
No, or you could reach out to the the Godfather. You remember him?
Oh,
so this son of a bitch, I sent him a message, or asked him, wanted $5,000 to do a podcast,
Whoa.
Not in person, none of the podcasts are in person, which I was clear about that. It's 5,000, you're out of your fucking mind. I was no, just said no thanks. $5,000 to interview the fucking Godfather.
I do have a story about I actually seen Godfather. So I believe it was last year. I was in Vegas for my brother's birthday.
Yeah,
his birthday is March 24th, which is also Undertaker's birthday. That same day, he was doing the One Dead Man show there in Vegas. And so my brother and his friends are like, oh, we're going to go out. And I'm like, The Undertaker is in fucking Vegas. My favorite wrestler of all time. I'll meet up with you guys later. So my drunk ass, and I'm getting an Uber. I go to the show. And you couldn't get no videos or anything. You had them in this lockbox and shit. So Undertaker's up there, just talking. And then who shows up on stage is the Godfather. And so they're talking about their stories on the road, being part of BSK, Bone Street Crew, you people that don't know. And he busts out a bottle of Godfather comes up with a bottle of Jack Daniels. So between the two of them, they kill that whole bottle. So towards the end, Undertaker is drunk as fuck. Yeah. And that was so cool. Just see those two guys up on stage. And then they're like, oh, hey, look, there's our dude, Dennis Knight, Midian. Yeah. He was out there. He didn't, go on stage or anything, but he was there too. So I was like, holy shit. Two of my favorite, I remember watching The Godfather, when he was Kamala or Kama. Sorry. Yeah. Kama Mustafa, and part of I'm a huge wrestling, so I'm sorry. I'm just randomly
He's fanboying out with you.
No, you're good. Trust me,
we're extremely flattered. You even said, this is gonna be fun to doing this. I'm like, holy shit, Matt, you're not gonna believe who the fuck agreed to do a show with us. This is gonna be dope.
And he told me, I'd like, who? And then I started going back through some Instagram messages he sent me for the reels that you do.
I meme him 20 to 30 reels of you and a couple of others every day. And I'm like, dude, check this out. Did you know this? Did you know this? And I was watching the Mona Azar one. I think that's the one where she was gonna be. She did woodworking or something like that.
Well, she was good at working with wood. Or something.
Well, she was actually gonna become I think a physical therapist.
Yes,
and was working on getting her master's of physical therapy, and then but had a B in a class, and the class was woodworking. I was just like,
that was the quickest wit that you had on there. It was like, hey, how ironic, and I'm like, yes, that's my kind of humor right there.
I was actually this morning I woke up kind of early, so I was looking up some of your videos and stuff, and that was the first one that came up. And so
it's the most recent one.
Yeah, it was posted about 4 days ago, I believe.
I was watching the one where you were talking about freaks and Greeks, and talking about having cold and hot food on the plate, and I was like, yes, I never thought about that, but I 100% agree. Even though if you take a look at me, I don't eat salads, I'm fat, but when my kid, he likes salads, we always order the salad on a separate plate because your hot food on the plate's going to heat up your salad, and then who wants to eat that nasty shit?
Dude, salad on the same plate as other food, like your
every
main
restaurant
food
fucking does it.
I love salads.
No, but on a hot
no,
plate.
most restaurants don't.
No,
Do they?
A hot plate. No.
Well, out here, I mean, they
Oh, really?
they
Yeah, I was
fuck
gonna say
food
most-
up out here.
It's California. What do you
yeah.
expect?
Yeah. I was gonna say every restaurant I would go to, like salad's always in like
It's
a
on a
little
separate plate.
chilled bowl. Like,
There are places out here
Yeah.
where they do it in a separate, but for the most part, you got to ask for it on a separate plate. Like it's
That's
not common
crazy.
sense. Yeah, well, this is,
Yeah.
demon rat California out here. They don't have common sense out here. So
yeah.
So
that's why I want to move out there to
That
Texas.
is, well, come on. Yeah, Texas Roadhouse will steer you right. They
There
put
you
that
go.
shit in a freezing cold bowl.
Amen. There you go.
Unlimited rolls.
we do have a
Jesus.
Texas Roadhouse.
We do have one out
out
here.
in Fresno. I've been there.
Yeah.
Food is really good.
Favorite place you would go to eat though? Tippy top restaurant you've ever been to that you're like, okay, I can't not go to this place.
Oh.
I mean, I know you don't go outside too much, but when you do,
No, I'll
and
go
you-
out to eat.
I mean, you look like you like
I'm not-
foods too. So
Oh, yeah.
Oh, me
yeah.
too.
Trust
Me
me.
too.
I'm-
And Matt's the
No,
only
I'm with-
anorexic one here, so
and I
he's like
I
an
love food.
Ethiopian Mexican or something. I don't know what the fuck's wrong.
Yeah.
And that's just the fast metabolism. I'll eat like huge ass plate, and I'm like a couple
But-
hours later,
No,
I'm
fuck
fucking hungry
you.
again.
That's,
Yeah, but
that's ridiculous.
tippy top food you've had. I mean,
actually,
Texas,
probably like Fogo de Chao. You ever been to one of those?
No.
Like in Texas
No, we
State
don't.
Brazil, it's like those Brazilian steakhouses.
Oh yeah, we don't have those.
Oh
over
my
here.
god,
that sounds good.
Yeah, it's like it's all you can eat for like $50. And they just keep coming around bringing these like swords that have a bunch of like steak on them, and they like
Holy
cut pieces
shit.
off.
With
There's, like,
skewers?
they're skewers, but they look like goddamn like broadswords, like fucking Braveheart. And and it's like 10 different cuts of like steak, and there's like lamb chops and shit like that. And their salad bar is the craziest goddamn thing on the planet. Salad bar actually is not salad. There's very little salad on the salad bar. It's mostly like cheeses and
Yeah.
like olives, all kinds of random shit.
Not like
It
Sizzler.
is. Oh, it's the greatest. It's the fucking greatest food.
Oh,
On the
I'm a Sizzler.
I used to
Never
go to
been.
Golden Corral and Sizzler and places like
Oh.
that. But is that the
yeah,
place that you're talking about that doesn't let you go home with a doggy bag? They don't let you take
well,
leftovers?
yeah, they don't. No, they don't let you take leftovers.
Okay, I have heard of that place one time, but I didn't know what it was called.
Yeah,
and somebody was
I've
telling me
heard
how you
that.
can eat all you want for one price, but you can't take anything home.
Yeah, it's $50, and then they give you like a little circle, like card that one side's green, one side's red. When you have it flipped over on the table in green, that means like keep bringing me shit, and they will fucking like crowd your table, just like giving you shit. But then as soon as you flip it to red, they know like leave you alone.
How
And
physically
what
can
you-
they get away with that, wasting all that food? Because not all of it gets eaten.
No.
That's got to be. There's got to do
It's
something about it.
pricey, yeah.
It's well, I mean, it's $50 a person, which is decently. I mean, it's not like cheap, but like
No, but if you
I mean,
bring
they
your
really
Homer
are-
Simpson appetite, you're going to get your money's worth.
yeah, but they're not. Well, you'd be surprised at how fast you fill up on steak. You always think you can eat way more of it than you really
Yes,
can.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
like, and they're cutting it in like decently small. They're not giving you like an entire like 6-ounce steak. Like they're cutting it like pieces off of it onto a plate.
Okay, that
So,
way
I
you
mean,
can try a variety of things.
Yeah, you try all
Okay.
kinds of shit. Yeah. It's I'm sure their business model's working.
So-
it's fine.
Go ahead.
So I was watching your interview with Mona Zara,
Yeah.
and you had mentioned you had never had a wet dream.
No, never. No, I don't think it's real. No, I think people. Just
I
piss
have
themselves.
physically had those as
Yes,
a teenager.
I did. My first one, I was probably 14.
I realized that at a very young age, was it 16, 17, 14, whatever it was,
Yeah.
that if you didn't rub one out enough, your stock was over full. You were overstock.com,
Wow.
and then you would purge.
That would explain it because I don't think I was ever at that point. Boy, I mean, it looked like my school's gym only had right-handed dumbbells. Like I was fucking. Oh yeah. I mean, if I wasn't standing up, then I was probably pulling one off. Like it's. Yeah,
I love
yeah,
it.
yeah.
That's the
Really
best
up
one.
until just a couple of years ago, to be honest. Like yeah. It's a. Yeah, I never let it get to that point. I was always pretty much.
You definitely got to start doing more stand up. That was dope.
Yeah.
That was good, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the time for me, I was like 14. I didn't even know about all that stuff, and I still remember the dream vividly.
You're a motherfucking liar. You've been beaten off since you were 6.
Yeah, shut up. Nobody knows that.
Oh, yeah.
And also in the interview, you said you weren't a fan of the Eagles.
Hate them. Fucking
Really?
hate 'em.
What's
Yeah.
why? I was so
I'm
curious.
curious.
Why?
It's just their music. Like, so it's kind of, so this is like kind of the answer I give, like for anything that any music or movie that I like, to find out whether I like or don't like it.
Okay.
It's never based on anything other than, am I bored listening to this? Or am I bored watching this?
Everybody
If the
has their
answer-
process.
Right. If the answer is yes, then I don't like it. If the answer is no, I like it. There's no rhyme or reason. It's like
when you know, you know.
When I listen to the Eagles, I am bored out of my mind. But I'll
Really?
listen to, like other bands that I would say are pretty similar, and I'm not bored out of my mind. So I
No,
don't know why
I mean,
it is.
I got a
Eagles,
friend
but
that can't stand Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses. He can't stand his voice, and I'm like, are you
I'm
kidding me?
with you.
I
Nah,
love
I'm
it.
with them.
Yeah, I don't.
hate
I
'em.
just you're probably the second person I've met that
fucking hate them.
it blows my mind.
Yeah.
I can't wrap my brain around it,
So-
but I'll go with it. I mean, it is what it
Your
is.
preference.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of music, you got Rush, you got Misfits, you got Danzig behind you.
Some of the greats, man. I mean, legends.
So what is your favorite like band of all time? The one that you'll throw on. Of course, you were not going to throw on the fucking.
I mean, you're already
Eagles.
wearing a Queen shirt, so
Yeah,
it's like,
Queen,
dude,
yeah.
you got all the legends going.
Man, favorite probably Black Sabbath.
Yes.
Okay.
They're dope.
Probably Zeppelin or Sabbath. I mean, Led Zeppelin,
Yeah.
Black Sabbath. It's got to be between the two. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it's like whenever you ask people like who's the greatest comic of all time, it's always George Carlin or Richard Pryor. Like those are the legends.
Yeah, they
Red-
have their own league.
You
yeah.
know, what? I'll throw
Yeah.
Red Fox in there too.
Yeah, Red
See,
Fox is
Red
good.
Fox would be like Elvis to me. Like I get that he's a legend. I think he's trash. I mean, I don't think Red Fox is funny, and I don't think Elvis is good. But
Yeah,
I
see, I've
understand
noticed
that they're
people are either
legends.
Beatles fans or Elvis fans.
Yeah, we were just
Yeah,
talking about
which-
that last night.
Yeah, I'm more of a Beatles fan. Between him and Beatles and Elvis, yeah, Beatles 100%.
Yeah, yeah, no, and me too. My mom was a huge Beatles fan. We did an episode on the Beatles for
Yeah.
my mom's birthday, and she was a guest on the show, and
Yeah.
got to talk to her about her memories, growing up listening to the Beatles and stuff. And
Yeah.
it was fun. It was.
I'm a fan of both Elvis and Beatles.
Yeah.
Eagles, Guns N' Roses, George Carlin, Dave Chappelle. I mean, all the greats.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't. Like if they have I used to hate Will Ferrell. Couldn't stand him.
Yeah, me. Either.
And then he did Talladega Nights, and for some reason he was running by saying, "Oh, baby Jesus, help me," and all that shit.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm hopped up Mountain Dew. It turned the coin for me. Like I was a huge fan after that.
And now that's all he says. Oh, dear baby Jesus. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh my God. Now, for me, definitely my favorite band would be Metallica.
That's I think if
I believe Mike too.
yeah.
if you like, it's funny because I would say like Black Sabbath is my favorite band, but if you told me I could only listen to one band for the rest of my life, it would be Metallica.
Yeah.
So maybe that makes them my favorite. Maybe Metallica is my favorite band.
I
Like,
mean, we did
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
4-hour shows
my
on them
God.
covering albums that it's insane. Our audio equipment was trash back then.
Yeah.
I wish we could go back and re-edit and re-record it and make it better, but
Well, I had so much fun doing it. Go deep diving into listen to every album, doing the research on every album. And we did like half the first episode, and then we did the last half. And we critiqued them, and the Black Album is both of our favorite albums of all time.
yeah.
really?
That
Oh,
is-
yeah.
that
That's
is-
your favorite one?
Yeah,
That-
well,
that's the one that got me started. 'cause
that's the
my
one that got me
older
started
brother-
too. And then after I
Right.
became a fan of them, you start saying, well, what else have they done?
Yeah.
And you start looking back,
Yeah.
and you was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, I missed out on so much.
Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning.
Yeah.
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 Well,
To me, Master of Puppets.
Master
That's the
Puppets,
greatest.
yes.
That's my favorite Metallica album,
Yeah.
hands
Yeah.
down.
But the
Ride
Black,
the Lightning would be a close second.
yeah. But then when
yeah.
it comes to the Black, that's the one that like started it for us. At
Yeah.
Yeah.
junior high, or and that's. I mean, there's so many iconic songs on that. I mean,
Yeah.
but then people say like, oh, that's when they sold out.
Who's
That's such a
go ahead.
huh.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just say that's such a dumb thing when people say that, like about selling it, that they sold out.
Mm.
Like, yeah, I mean, they changed their sound because they're
Yeah.
getting older.
They're doing
and
music
they're a
for
band.
them.
They evolved.
Right.
You
Yeah,
you
it's-
can't
it's-
stand with you can't stay with the same vibe like Slipknot. They were doing the hard shit, and then they experimented with the mellow, still with
people fucking hated it.
gruff.
Yeah.
I love Subliminal.
I like it.
I like it
Subliminal-
all the way
Subliminal was fucking awesome.
all the way
Incredible.
from Zizek's Road, Stone Sour, Slipknot, Corey Taylor, was that CMF2?
CMF, yeah.
All of that stuff, legendary. Like he's got range. Why waste it?
Right, exactly. Because I'm a huge fan of Slayer, but
Yeah,
they're the least rangy band of all time. Like it's every song sounds like a Slayer song, and it's fine if you like that band.
Yeah,
exactly. And I kind of don't want them to make music that sounds different.
Yeah, exactly.
But Metallica, you can tell they have more
versatility.
More versatility, 100%.
That's the word.
Like a band like
Hey, that's a $5 word, baby. I need to start writing checks.
maybe that's might be a $10.
Yeah, but who's a comedian that is top of your list you want to interview? Somebody you would die to have on your show, like Dave Chappelle or
Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
I mean, you got connections with Nick Swartz, and so I mean, why not get Adam Sandler or something?
right. That would be
Adam
dope.
Sandler would be a great one. Yeah,
I would love to watch that interview.
Oh yeah.
Man, comedian Andrew Dice Clay.
Yes. He just did kill Tony. When they did
really?
Madison Square Garden, night
Oh,
one,
yeah.
they pulled from the Legends bucket, and I was like, holy shit, Andrew Dice Clay, the fucking Dice Man. I mean,
yeah,
I lost my
that'd
fucking
probably
shit.
be mine.
Yeah, I was watching that
that'd
at
be my
work, and I
favorite.
lost my shit. I was like, oh, yeah, and everybody's looking like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, you don't understand.
No, I've always liked
he's fucking
Fluffy.
incredible.
Yeah.
I've always liked Fluffy.
Fluffy.
I'm not a
Gabriel
big
Iglesias.
fan.
He's good.
Gabriel Iglesias.
He's good, but he's like
I'm not a fan.
He's
at
like
all.
a Disney version of comedy.
Really?
He is funny.
Yes.
I like him,
No.
but I love that dark throat cutting humor. When
Same.
it can cut your soul and people get offended, I'm like, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah,
And
I don't
I'm
really
a
like.
church-going Christian dude. I go to church every Sunday, and I still love that dark humor. It's just, it does it for me.
I don't know. Maybe I know I like Andrew Dice Clay, George Carlin, but then I like that lighter side because being,
I'm definitely not excluding them. I would listen to them all.
Being
but
Mexican too, and hearing the Mexican the stories, and I was like, okay, I kind of relate to that because my grandparents and stuff. So
yeah, there's things that you can relate to.
Yeah,
George,
so that's why I usually I go more towards Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah. Well, I'm a huge George Carlin fan because he always poked at the government, all this conspiracy stuff, and it's all a big club and we're not fucking in it. And I relate to that. Yeah, duh. Yeah, I get it.
George Carlin would have been that's one that if someone who's not alive anymore that I wish I could have done a
living or
podcast
dead,
with.
who would be the top of the list?
I mean, if it's going dead, I mean George Carlin for comics, 100%. George Carlin is number one. I
Richard
think
Pryor would definitely be up there too.
Yeah,
Richard Pryor would be a great one. Yeah, I think.
Well, he was coked out of his mind half the time too. So.
Yeah, actually, probably Norm Macdonald. I mean, to me, Norm Macdonald's the funniest person of all time.
Norm, yes,
that dude pulled no punches, and he was witty as fuck too.
Yes,
rest in peace to Norm.
That's to me, Norm Macdonald's the funniest human being of all time over anyone. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that dude could make you laugh or cry.
I was looking through your videos, and you did the one on the Super Bowl.
Oh fuck! Here we go.
On the Super Bowl.
Yeah, the Niners versus KC.
Niners and KC.
Oh, yes, yeah.
And you labeled it the worst night of your life.
Which it was.
And you said you had like constipation the whole time.
Yeah, Matt, let him elaborate. I got to hear this.
No, I mean that's pretty much it. It was the worst night of my life. I mean, it's the worst Super Bowl you could imagine, worst halftime show of all time. I mean, I hate the Chiefs probably more than anything in the world.
Thank you. Same here.
Yeah. So you mix all those things together. Like I would much rather sit on my own nuts than go through that again.
I know. As much as I hate the Chiefs, Mahomes has a talent with his baseball background.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and the way
he's
he
incredible.
does that sideways throw, it's incredible. But I still, fuck Mahomes. I still hate you, motherfucker.
No, he's the greatest quarterback in the NFL. But he's on the team I hate the most, so I hope he fucking snaps both of his legs in half.
Yeah.
Like and he's from like where I'm from, so everyone here is a fucking Chiefs fan now. Like
Oh,
everybody
God.
jumped ship from the Cowboys to the
Bandwagoners.
Chiefs, exactly, because the
I hate
Cowboys
that.
are horrible. So they're
Yeah.
like, ooh, well, we
So
could
kudos to
switch
you
the
for
Chiefs.
being a diehard Raiders fan. Karina, one of
Oh,
our
yeah.
first
Yeah.
listeners, our most loyal fan that we have.
Yeah.
She actually got to be on a few episodes with us. She's a huge Raiders fan. I can't wait
Yeah.
to tell her that you were here on our show as a Raiders fan, and she's gonna fan out. I promise.
Yeah.
Now,
Well, oh yeah.
I do want to ask you about Robin Diaz.
Yeah. The drummer for
Candlebox.
Yeah, he's drummer for Candlebox Live. He was
amazing.
Courtney Love's drummer for a little while.
POD, Daughtry.
Yeah.
What was it like to get to talk to them? I mean, that's
yeah,
got to be
it's-
amazing.
Man, I just love hearing stories from like what it's like being in the studio with certain people and getting like kind of like misconceptions about people. Cause like, most people, when they think of Courtney Love, they think of a horrible human being.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
what most
Kurt
people have in their
Cobain,
head is
everything, yeah.
right. I think, and I've definitely thought that for a long time. I always thought she was like this monster of a person.
I have this conspiracy theory that she was behind.
Yeah.
She's the one who did the.
See,
DJing.
I don't think so at all.
Okay.
I did used to think that. So I did used to think like, man, I bet she could have, if not done it, that she had it done or whatever.
Yeah.
The more I've learned about Courtney Love and a lot of it from him, the more I'm like, she might actually be the person we all owe an apology to.
Really?
Like, yeah, he was like, she is
Wow.
the nicest person on the planet. So nice, like professional, easy to work with. Then you go back and look.
And she's
Listen
like
to
the
interviews.
biggest bitch or something.
Yeah, well, when you go back and listen to interviews of Courtney Love, like she's accusing the people who we probably should be looking at. Like she's like, hey, why don't y'all look at Dave Grohl? Dave Grohl's a monster of a human being.
way.
And which he is. And then and she
Wow.
was like one of the first people to call out Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, that's
she's
true.
like the first, because that's pretty much what ended her acting career. Because she was in like, a handful
Yeah.
of like really good movies in the 90s.
Yeah.
And that's basically what ended her career, was that she wouldn't blow Harvey Weinstein. And so she was like,
so they
she was
blackballed her
saying that.
basically.
Yeah.
yeah, which he did to like Ashley Judd and
Uh-huh.
a bunch of different actresses who just disappeared. Bridget Fonda, even, I think, was
Yeah.
one of them.
Wow.
Yeah. She was in was it Jackie Brown? I remember that.
Who? Bridget Fonda?
Yeah, Bridget Fonda.
Yeah. Bridget Fonda's in a lot.
I
Like
love that movie,
Placid.
Jackie Brown, Reservoir
it-
Dogs.
yeah.
Huge Quentin Tarantino
Yeah,
fan. When he
and-
did,
Same.
what did you think about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? Your initial.
It
It's
was great.
my favorite Tarantino movie.
I
hands
Really?
hated.
down.
I absolutely hated it at first. Hated it. I was like, "What the fuck is
Really?
this?" And then my favorite part was the Brad Pitt scene. He's throwing the can and doing
Oh,
all that
man.
stuff, and I thought that was the
Yeah.
greatest scene. I was like, "Finally, here we go. Here comes the blood." And then I
Yeah.
watched an interview with him and Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt,
Mhm.
and he was describing how it was a perspective from the inside of the car of you as a kid.
Yeah,
and what
right.
you saw back in the time, and I was like, "Okay, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Quentin. I'm sorry." I watched it again in that perspective,
Yeah.
and I fucking loved it.
Yeah. For me, it would be either that or Django Unchained.
Django Unchained was really
That-
good.
I didn't like Django that much.
Really.
I thought it was
No,
good.
to
but-
me, it's that or Inglorious Bastards.
Yes.
Those are the-
Inglourious Bastards was awesome.
I love that one too.
That every
Yeah.
time I
It-
go to put that movie on, I'm like, we're gonna kill some Nazis.
Yeah,
I fucking thought it was
And
great.
you got a Eli
Yeah.
Roth right there.
Yes.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
the bear,
Christoph
the
Waltz
Jew,
is
yeah.
so
Oh my
good.
god.
Yeah, and Michael Fassbender.
Yes.
doing the three
Yeah,
instead
yeah.
of the
Yeah.
three. Like,
And then
Yes.
fucking Magneto. And then
Yeah.
He was great in there.
no, are you a Marvel fan? Like,
No.
do you have a?
Are you DC?
none. I hate
None?
them. I hate both. I hate fucking comic superhero movies.
Wow.
Wow.
Hate them. I
Fascinating.
like some of the older ones, like the '90s, like the Val Kilmer Batman and stuff like that. Just
You
'cause I
like the
grew up-
campy ones. That's
Yeah,
totally
'cause I,
flip
like,
side
grew
to
up-
us.
Well, yeah,
we
'cause I,
were
like,
so
grew
flip
up
from
watching
that.
them.
No, yeah.
No, like I like those, but I like the Christopher Nolan Dark Knight. I
I
don't like
think those
Batman
are the
Begins.
best ones.
Christian Bale, yeah.
Yeah, I think
they
Batman
were-
Begins is kind of boring, but I think Dark Knight and Dark Knight
Yeah.
Rises are incredible.
Yeah, with the Joker and
and Bane. I think Tom Hardy as Bane is incredible.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, no,
fantastic.
he's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I hate the whole like Marvel Cinematic Universe bullshit. The
So
DC
fascinating.
one, that's the new pussy ass Robert Pattinson Batman.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one was pretty weak.
No,
Hate 'em.
I know. It took me twice. I went to go see it in theaters when it first came out, but I was drunk when I went to my buddy. He was paying for the tickets. I'm like, fuck it. Through like maybe 20 minutes of the movie, I fell asleep.
I watched it for the fucking car. I'm a huge car guy, and I'm a Chevy guy
Car's
at heart.
cool.
I'm a Chevy guy at heart, but that Dodge in there was pretty fucking badass.
Yeah, the car is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I watched it for the
100%.
Batmobile for sure.
And I do think Colin Farrell is really good. It's just
He
the movie
is.
sucks.
Yeah.
Like I just don't get into superheroes.
I thought
just
Zoe,
never have.
I thought Zoe Kravitz was. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah, oh yeah, Catwoman.
7 miles of
Yeah.
sand and glass. I would drag my balls through to eat the peanuts out of her shit. That shit's hot, dude.
So
Yeah,
now going with movies. No, I'm looking at your posters. I'm sorry, I keep
Yeah.
bringing them up.
yeah.
So you got The Big Lebowski.
Yes.
You got
Yeah.
Texas Chainsaw.
Mhm.
I
The
believe
Shining.
that's Dracula right behind you.
Yeah.
You got The
Dracula,
Shining.
and then Bride of
Oh,
Frankenstein.
Bride of Frankenstein with Boris Karloff.
And
one of
there's
the
two Shining
greatest-
ones because there's this is the Overlook Hotel.
Oh, Overlook. Okay.
I saw that.
Yeah.
And then
I
I
was-
think Jack Nicholson
Yeah.
at
Jack
Elm
Nicholson.
Street.
Then you
Yeah,
got Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Out of all those movies right there, what is your favorite?
Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park's my favorite movie of all time. Yeah, love it. Seen it over 500 times.
Yeah. Every time I got
Yeah.
something and I want to sit down with my, plate of food or whatever, I'm like, what am I gonna watch? I want a feel good family movie I've seen 1,000 times.
Yeah.
Because when it came out, it was always released on like a Thanksgiving or something like that. Me and my cousin and my uncle, we all three of us guys, we would go see
Yeah.
Jurassic Park on Thanksgiving in the movie theater. And we're like, hey, we had a turkey leg. Now we're going to go watch the Tyrannosaurus Rex eat a turkey leg, or so to speak.
Yeah.
And I thought it was great.
Over here, when when the movie first came out, the old dollar movies, it was a regular movies, like $3.25 per ticket. And that Jurassic Park was sitting there for like 6 months.
Yeah.
No bullshit. Just
Yeah.
because it was like the highest grossing movie. It is one of my favorites. Now, if I'm gonna put on, like you said, just grab some food and watch a movie,
Yep.
it's gonna be The Godfather.
Mm.
I have to really be in the mood to watch The Godfather.
Yeah.
It's not
that's
one
what
that I can just put on like
No.
for fun.
No,
Like,
I will definitely throw
Yeah.
on
I can do
Goodfellas.
that.
I will throw on Goodfellas.
oh, Goodfellas is way more.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I could just throw on Goodfellas for
Yeah.
sure.
But
But
I'm
yeah.
I'm a huge Godfather fan. I've read the book.
yeah,
I watched the series that they had on. I believe it
The
was on-
Offer.
The Offer, yes.
Yeah,
That it was a good series.
Mhm.
Really showed the backstory of behind the book, and I've read the book. I mean, Godfather, my favorite movie of all time.
He dives
Yeah.
deep when he gets onto something.
So it's,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
one of those that I can. It's my comfort movie.
I would say,
Right.
You could say.
tippy top favorite for me all time would be Tombstone.
That's
Oh,
awesome
man.
too.
Yeah, when
That's a
I'm your
good one.
Huckleberry, which with
Yeah.
the disputed line about Hucklebearer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just found that out. So every Thursday I go on like Mike Calta show in Tampa.
Yeah,
And he told me that this, like, not last Thursday, but Thursday before, which I did not know that it's Hucklebearer.
yeah, because
That's what he's
that
saying.
was the casket carrying person.
Right, because the like handle that the pallbearers held is called a huckle. So
Mhm.
the person holding it is the hucklebearer.
Yes,
And
Wait,
so he's saying, I'm your hucklebearer. But it
yeah,
sounds
he's
like
not
he's
saying I'm your
Huckleberry.
Huckleberry. He's saying I'm your Hucklebearer.
Can you do a reel on that?
Yes.
I am
Yeah.
going to.
Yeah.
Please, thank you.
Yes, that
I
is-
will.
Well, I was
I
gonna
will
do
share
one
the shit
on
out of it.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna do one on like misquotes, like misquoted movies.
Yes.
Yes,
Just to, and so that was one, or like Hannibal Lecter never says hello, Clarice.
Yeah. But Jim
Is that-
Carrey,
oh, so
Jim
okay.
Carrey did in the Cable Guy.
right. Okay, so that
Right.
when you're doing
And, well, he
misquoted
says-
lines, could tie into like a Mandela effect thing.
Yeah.
Well, I go deep into
Yes.
the fucking Mandela effects.
Yes, me too.
Jesus, like Berenstein Bears
Yeah,
got me.
That was the first thing that came to my mind.
Let him finish,
It-
man.
Dude, it got me because I was reading it as Berenstein Bears.
Yes.
And then it said it's Berenstain. And I feel like I remember looking back at the word
Berenstain.
and it changed.
Okay, check this out.
Like, it was so
I have
weird.
every golden child book from my childhood,
Mhm.
and since I'm like 12 years older, I have the originals that were. I will dig through them tonight, and I will DM you pictures of the books. So if you have something you can use,
Yeah.
go for it. Because if I have the original Berenstein Bears or
Yeah,
whatever, I will find it. I will send it to you.
Oh yeah.
And that way you
Oh, for
can use
sure.
it. That would be so fucking dope.
Definitely
to be able to prove that Mandela shit wrong. If I have it and it's
Dude.
what we all think, then I will send it.
Yeah.
There is one that the publishing company misprinted and called it Berenstein.
Ooh.
But it's like, I think, or it might have been a movie. It was either a movie or a book, like one of them. So there is like people going, see, look, the Mandela effect's real. But it's like, well, I mean, this one was a misprint. If you go back and look, all the rest of them do say.
Well, I mean, it's like
Berenstain.
that gal who found the cornucopia behind the Fruit of the Loom
Yeah.
thing, and she spent so much money. She went to thrift stores and found a shirt with the cornucopia behind it. Proved him wrong. Turned out to be a big government psyop. There was one about Queen not saying "of the world" at the end,
Which they don't.
which they do on one recording. It was a live recording, but it
Oh,
was
right,
not the
right.
studio CD recording. So
Yeah,
that
it's-
debunked that one. That kind of fucked me up for a while. That
Well, yeah, I
definitely
mean,
threw me
it's-
for a loop.
Yeah, because every time I hear that song, I sing that in my head.
Yeah.
Like of the world at the
Yeah.
end. Yeah, he didn't say it. Yeah. There's like how it's Oscar Mayer and not Oscar Mayer.
Oh my god, that just fucked me up. Yep.
Yeah,
That's definitely
it's
I know.
OSCARMAYER.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that though. It was oh my god, that drives me
Or
nuts.
No.
Looney Tunes is TUNES. It's not short for cartoons.
Yeah.
It's not TOONS.
I
which
I
is
have old Bugs
odd.
Bunny books with Roadrunner or something. I'm gonna have to go look.
No,
Yeah, and it's because like those cartoons at the very beginning, you know, obviously they were silent except for music. Like, you know, the music, like usually classical music playing. So it was like Looney Tunes, as in like we're showing
Ah.
you
The
something
music,
loony while
yeah.
you're hearing a
Yeah, because
tune.
that was a Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner, you know,
Yeah, yeah, or
Tom and
like
Jerry
the
type
old-
shit.
Yeah, and like the old Bugs Bunny, it's like
Oh, yeah.
you know they're playing like opera and shit while he's doing
When he's doing the barber
mischief.
scene or whatever, yeah.
yeah, or like
So-
yeah, there's all those.
Going off of with the cartoons, do you have a favorite voice actor?
Oh, man.
Man, you're bringing some A-list questions, bro.
That is a great question. So hold on. So is it someone who that's all they're known for? Or just a voice in a movie?
A voice actor. I mean, Mel Blanc. He's the man of 1,000 voices.
Yeah.
You know, you got Rob Paulson. You got
it's-
Jim Cummings. You know,
Probably Tony J. I don't know if you're familiar with Tony J. He did a bunch of Disney movies. He was always like a villain in them. Has a super deep voice. But actually, if you're just going like any like singular like
yeah,
performance, Jeremy Irons is Scar. and,
Oh
like,
my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
he
that's
is
the
dope.
greatest.
Yeah.
That's the greatest villain voice of all time.
I mean, he was in Die Hard and in. I mean, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's his brother.
The brother, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I watched that not too long. That was with the
I was
Samuel
actually
Jackson,
watching Die
right?
Hard last night.
Oh, wait,
yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
it's either between Die Hard or Lethal Weapon, and I was like, fuck, how do you choose?
Die Hard with a Vengeance was supposed to be a Lethal Weapon movie.
You know what?
That-
okay, so
yeah,
in part
that
two,
plot was made
in part
for
two
Lethal
of,
Weapon.
of Die Hard, when they're on the plane and that television prompter dude who's selling out the plane for the terrorist act, if you look at the old lady with the taser, when
Yeah.
she's reading her magazine and you pause it at the right scene when she's next to John McClane's wife, there is a picture of Lethal Weapon in the background.
Oh.
Really? Well, it makes
Yeah.
sense. It's the same. I think it was the same production company.
Yeah,
So they're
so-
they're all. I mean, you can actually find that in a lot of movies where, if like a movie's coming out, or if they expect a movie to be coming out around that time, they'll put a subliminal, not subliminal. I mean, it's still in
No,
there,
but
they'll
it's like,
put like a poster of
suggestive
the,
or
yeah, they'll put like
Easter egg.
suggestive
Yeah,
advertising. Yeah.
Or an
Yeah.
homage to you
Yeah,
know,
so I saw that
their
and I was like, that's
fans.
Riggs and Murtaugh. And I was throwing some 99-cent heart attack down my neck and I stopped. I was, where's the fucking remote? And I backed it up and I was like, no fucking way. And I was going to screenshot it and send it to
Lethal
you.
Weapon 2?
Yes. I'm sorry. Die Hard 2.
Oh, Die Hard
Yeah,
2.
Die
I
Hard
was gonna
2
say.
shows it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has
Oh, yeah.
Lethal Weapon picture of a magazine the old lady's reading. Because
Yeah.
I was sitting there yelling at the old lady for tasing her dog and then how it limped for a week or whatever. I was like, you mean old bitch, that poor dog. And then I stopped and I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, no, going back with the voice actors and stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely Mel Blanc. Bugs Bunny, Porky Pig. I've watched so many videos of interviews with him, and he just like that, just turns on the voice and jumps into the next voice.
In fact, there was a historical document or history search that was done when Mel Blanc went into a coma, and they couldn't get him to come out. They'd speak to him and say, "What's up, Doc?" And he would answer in Bugs Bunny's voice, and that's how they got him to come back out of the coma, which is an amazing story.
Yeah, I remember seeing that they wouldn't. He wouldn't like speak unless they did that voice. Rob Paulson, he was Raphael, the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Yeah,
I didn't know that for years until I started watching Jim Cummings' podcast.
How did you
Pinky
feel when you
Pinky
found
in the Brain?
Yeah,
too.
Pinky, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But how did you feel when you found out that Uncle Phil was the voice of the original Shredder in the cartoons?
Never seen the show. Never watched. Nah, never.
We have to
watched
remedy
any of
that.
shit.
That's great.
Couldn't do it.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah?
a big fan of.
Can we get a reel
really
on that
wasn't
one? They're never watching it.
I don't know.
I was never a big fan of like cartoons growing up. Really.
Really? What did
Interesting.
you watch?
Movies. Just like I always just watched like regular movies. I mean, I watched like some like Disney movies, of course, like when I was like really little.
Yeah.
But otherwise, it was mostly just like the only cartoons I remember really watching was like South Park. Like,
I love me some South Park.
Started watching that like pretty early, like South Park and Family Guy.
Yeah.
And but mostly I just watched movies and like reality TV shows.
So
Like,
what's your favorite animated movie?
Wait, he doesn't like cartoons.
Lion King.
King.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen. I
Jeremy
like.
Irons.
No, I like animated movies. I just never liked cartoon like shows. I never watched any of them like growing up, but I would watch like Disney movies all the time. Like,
So okay.
Now, if you had a favorite genre of movie, horror, action, I don't know, maybe it's rom-com. I don't know, but I don't know. I'm not assuming anything.
No, it's horror for sure.
Yeah. Have you seen the new Terrifier? Have you seen all the Terrifiers or anything?
Never seen any of them.
I heard they were epic.
Bloody as fuck.
I'm gonna watch them just because like the hype is getting to me.
Yeah,
but I'm not a big like gore person. I
like
like
the
more like
suspense thriller.
Yeah, I like more psychological horror or like supernatural stuff like that. Like Rosemary's Baby, The Exorcist.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything involving the Catholic Church is always a good one. If they're like a side character in a horror movie.
Yeah.
So I mean, Terrifier definitely wouldn't be like one of my really good friends.
Yeah.
She's a huge horror fan, and she's like, she's showing me these clips. I didn't know who Art the Clown was, but the guy from
he's
Terrifier.
definitely been into a meme culture now.
Oh yes,
and
yes.
And she's like, "Oh, why? I like him. He's cute." I'm like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" and of course, I mean, but she listens to like Ice Nine Kills. I don't know if
they had a new video out with Art the Clown in
and
there.
then that dude that from the movie. Did you watch that video?
No,
It's really good,
it's like a 15-minute video.
It's nothing but blood and guts, and the only thing that survives at the end is the baby, and it fades out, and all you hear is the baby crying. You're like, who's gonna look after this kid? But everybody's fucking dead.
Yeah, but
it's bad.
But they're such a good band, and then with the Terrifier, I'm like, and she was telling me, "Oh, you're gonna have to come over. You're gonna watch it with me." I'm like, fuck you. I'm not.
Yeah, he is terrified of horror movies. He knows. He'll do all the homework and read the lore and do all the research on it, but he will not sit down and watch a horror movie.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
so you are still interested in them.
Yes,
you just don't like watching them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
I have. Yeah. I could tell you everything about Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I have never watched every single movie. The only Nightmare on Elm Street I've watched was the first one and Freddy vs. Jason.
Now, I like horror movies, but I just can't watch them anymore. Every time I do, some creepy shit happens around the house, and I'm like, look, if you're gonna be here, you need to pay rent or get the fuck out. And
Amen.
Because this shit ain't cheap. And so they'll be knocking cups over, or they'll open cabinets, or some stupid shit like my kid's toy will move across the floor. I have video of something happening where they moved my kid's toy across the floor, and there was nobody here but his mom. And I'm like, yeah. So I go to church regularly. I talk to one of the priests there, And I was like, hey, this weird shit keeps happening at my house. She goes, do you watch horror movies? I'm like, yeah, it's like one of my favorite styles of movies. I love that stuff. And I don't do any of that devil worshiping crap, but I do watch the movies. They're great. They're suspense. They're the genius that goes behind the planning and the plotting and the supernatural shit. It's fantastic. She goes, well, you got to quit watching it, otherwise that shit's gonna keep happening in your house. I'm like, fuck, that's great. Now
That's bullshit.
dude. It
Movies,
really happens.
watching a movie is not gonna is not gonna haunt you, cause a possession.
No, it's not a
it's-
possession, but it
No.
definitely.
Or I mean, just anything supernatural to happen is not gonna come from watching a movie. Otherwise,
No, but since I stopped watching them, that shit quit happening.
Yeah.
It's it's like, I don't know if that's conspiracy theory, coincidence, but it
it's
definitely
coincidence.
My
It has to be,
My
but
for
mom
sure
believes
coincidence,
strongly in that too. And speaking of horror movies, Candyman died.
yeah, Tony Todd.
Tony Todd.
Yeah.
Saw that.
I
Are
put
you-
it on a reel because I don't want to steal somebody's content and be like credit too. Like I like, you know what? I'm just gonna add it to our story and just pay a nice, farewell. Sorry, another legend gone.
No, he was in Candyman. He was in Final
Final
Destination.
Yeah.
Platoon, Night of the Living Dead, The Crow, The Rock.
I think he actually did a cameo in the new one, right?
Yes. Yeah, no, he did come back as Candyman
Yeah.
for the Jordan Peele one.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Man from Earth, Frankenstein, 2015, Death House. He was in Star Trek, Next Generation, and Deep Space Nine. He was in Revenge of the Fallen, the Transformers. I don't know who he did.
Probably a
Dark Side-
voiceover.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
Yeah, he did a Dark Side in the DC animated movies. Venom in Marvel Spider-Man 2, the video game. And he received a British Academy Games Award nomination.
Yeah, he's definitely accredited.
Yeah. Well, dead now.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. Rest in pieces, I guess.
Yeah, rest in candy pieces.
Nah.
Nah.
Reese's Pieces.
Reese's Pieces?
Was that too dark? I don't know.
Nah, it'd be all right.
Dude, this is dope as hell. I can't believe
Yeah, this is...
you do all your own editing. That's fucking amazing. I definitely appreciate the struggle that goes into doing that. That is no candy walk, but if you have the time and you sit down and you do it, it's like I was talking to a guy when we went down to F-22 Studios and got to sit with the DeLorean and meet directors from Hollywood and stuff down there in Burbank. And one of the guys who worked on the Titanic, he says, if you're editing videos, the best thing to do is get a room with no windows. So you don't know what time of day it is. Don't look at the clock. And that way you're focused on your edits. And I got to agree. That's definitely, it definitely helps.
Oh, for sure.
So I was watching your first YouTube video that you had. You had the short hair.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to grow the hair out? And then what made you want to leave it like the length it is now?
It took about 6 months.
Because it's
6
almost
or
like
7
Bob
months.
Ross lore to me. Like once he had the fro, he had to keep it. That was his image. Like
Yeah, it's
you got
kind
the
of
bandana
becoming-
and the hair. And I'm like,
Yeah.
before the show started, I was like, dude, I had one of those shower thoughts, one of those genius shower thoughts. Like we should all get bandanas so we can wear bandanas with Cody Tucker. How cool would that be?
Should have.
I know.
Man, I do kind of think about that sometimes, of like, because I get real impulsive and I just want to shave my head like completely bald, probably 15 times a day.
It gets hot
And
under all this hair.
Oh, fucking hell. Yeah. Especially, I mean, in Texas, it's already hot as shit. And
Oh, yeah.
I run real hot already.
Me too.
But yeah, I have to like try to convince myself not to, because then I think, well, I mean, I could wear a bandana with short hair, but I'd look like a
could.
real douche.
But no,
But-
I wouldn't say that. But your image is the hair and the bandana, how it sits
Yeah.
right now. It's
I
definitely
know.
recognizable. People
Your
recognize you
style,
right away.
It's
Yeah.
your style that
Yeah.
you
Yeah, I'll
want.
probably just keep it.
So
You could always
Fuck
throw a
it.
wig on when you're on camera or something.
That's true.
You know
Yeah,
what?
yeah, I
And that
could-
way, when you go out in public, because you're definitely going to get more famous. And that way, when you go out in public, you'd be like, I don't know, you look like Cody Tucker. You know, I get that a lot.
Yeah, it's the Sean Connery move. I mean,
That-
he
There
he
you
shaved his
go.
head bald his
Exactly.
entire life and wore a wig for James Bond.
Exactly.
So, living in Texas,
Yeah.
are you a basketball fan? You like the Spurs? Do you
Uh,
like the Mavericks?
okay, so very random. I'm actually a really big Knicks fan.
Oh,
Interesting.
what the
Ra-
fuck?
no
You-
idea why.
A Raider
Just
fan and a Knicks fan.
Hey, I'm a
and you
Niners
list-
fan and a Chicago Bulls fan, a San Francisco Giants fan, and a White Sox fan. So I'm all fucked up.
Yeah, see, and
Well,
with-
San Fran, Chicago, both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
see, and with me,
Well, for me,
Yeah.
it was Scottie Pippen and Jordan from the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been a Bulls fan too if I would have grown up.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
miss like all of that.
Oh,
so
it was the greatest. But
Yeah.
yeah.
So like with me, you know, I'm a Redskin fan, a Giants fan, and a Portland Trailblazer fan. Because I was born in Oregon, so
Yeah.
I grew up watching, you know, Clyde Drexler,
yeah.
you know, back in the day. So I mean, it's
Yeah.
always
Scottie
been-
Pippen too.
Yeah,
Didn't he? I think he played
Pippen
for
was there
Portland for a
too.
little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Just
I mean,
saying.
yeah, it's you know my teens. Everybody like finds out my teams are like, what the fuck? Why are you living in California? 'Cause
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like
I
two
d-
teams here. Or
I'm
no-
too broke to leave, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's how I am. Because for me, it's Raiders for football,
Yeah.
Knicks for basketball, but Mavericks too. I mean, I do like the Mavericks a lot.
Mm.
I'm
Not
not
the-
as like
not the Spurs?
hardcore. No, I'm not a big Spurs fan.
Really?
No. When I was a kid, I was a huge Dirk Nowitzki fan.
Oh, Tim Duncan.
And, like, we used to-
No?
Nah, I didn't give a fuck about Tim Duncan. Still don't.
Duncan
like,
was
I,
one of the greatest. He was like most.
Well, I live
he's one of
closer
the
to
most-
Dallas. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty decently close to Dallas. So like we always like if we went to games, went to Mavericks games.
Yeah,
Oh,
whatever you do,
remember-
don't give out your closest address. We don't want nobody spamming your house or nothing like that.
I don't know. I mean, I think everybody already knows pretty much. They already know what city I live in, so that's good
True,
enough.
but-
I mean, which I don't give a fuck. I mean,
Yeah,
who cares?
it's
But,
whatever. Texas, you got
Yeah.
guns, go for it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah,
I'm a huge
we'll
gun
be
fan
all right.
myself. Behind Matt over there is a huge gun safe full of AR-15s and stuff. I love them. They're so
Hell
much
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, go to any
Oh.
high schools lately?
No, I don't own a trench coat.
Well,
How's
You
that for
could-
witty, baby? I got it.
Oh.
you could always get one. Get a
Yeah.
JCPenney flash sale. Get your ass a trench coat and
So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have two. I don't only have one gender, so I don't think I qualify. Nah.
so you interviewed Ben Katzman,
yeah, from Survivor.
Survivor finalist.
Yeah, massive.
Man, you're just
Survivor
hitting
fan.
all the fucking stars,
I know.
aren't you? You
Oh,
just
God.
go for it.
Hey,
I don't know how much time you're willing to give us.
Yeah.
We'll get all
I-
the time we can.
I have to.
I got
I have to
nothing
write
going on.
some shit. I didn't want to
Let's
come
go.
in looking like a dumbass. So, I'm curious. You know, I did not watch the interview,
Okay.
but you
Boo,
know,
you're
it
fired.
it was
Yeah,
kind of
Jesus.
I
what
was
a
just
jackass.
I was kind of going through, you know, the videos and
Yeah.
you know what the highlights were. So, did he give like how it was on the show? I mean, I know I've
Yeah.
seen videos like a lot of shit is scripted.
No,
So, it did
yeah.
Survivor's
okay, so
not
tell us.
scripted.
yeah,
Because
I mean, yeah, there's a lot
it's
of
got
shows
to feel
like,
like it's Hollywooded up.
yeah.
well, I mean, it feels like that because they're turning it into a TV show. So of course they like edit it to make it look, you know, so that it's more fun to watch for an hour and a half. Or well, it used to be an
True.
hour. Now the
Yeah.
episodes are an hour and a half. But it's not scripted as far as like what they're saying, what goes on. They just pick and choose what things to put. You know,
To make it more dramatic.
Mm.
yeah, because otherwise you'd be watching, you know, because every episode that you're watching is 3 days worth of footage put into 45 minutes.
Otherwise, you're gonna have 20 minutes of them rubbing two sticks together to make a fire. or
Yeah, I
something,
mean,
yeah.
so yeah, it's not gonna be as realistic as if you were there watching it.
that makes
But no,
sense.
it's 100% real. I mean, they're not, and whenever they do something that's kind of like oh, we're gonna help somebody out because this is bad or whatever, they show it. Like they don't like pretend like because like there was a season where there was like a really bad hurricane,
Yeah.
and instead of like pretending that they didn't help them, they were like, hey, this is something we didn't expect. This is what we're doing for the people on the shows, just so everyone knows.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like,
keep-
real
keep
real
them
life or
safe.
death. It's
Yeah.
beyond.
They're pretty transparent about
That's
how
good.
that show works.
That's
yeah,
good.
it's
That's the one of
Yeah,
the few
yeah.
honorable reality shows in.
I think that and Amazing Race have done like a very good job at like at not making it seem too fake. Because there, I mean, a lot of those shows, you're just like, Jesus.
Amazing
Christ,
Race, is that the one where they have the celebrities get on there and do?
Well, it's a bunch of
No.
couples.
Oh,
yeah,
that's the
they
couples.
go-
Which one's the
they-
one with the celebrities where they go out like a real military vet goes and tries to do
Oh, that's
some
all
challenge or
bullshit.
whatever? I
think-
can't remember what it is.
Didn't John Cena do one of those shows?
I don't
or
know.
Yeah,
something?
probably. Sounds like some John Cena
Yeah,
bullshit.
But we saw him
Yeah.
do that though.
Yeah. So, of all your interviews with different porn stars, who was your favorite interview? Who was your favorite to talk to? And did you actually watch your movies before?
Yeah, I mean, I know everybody is like beforehand. So yeah, I usually don't watch any of them after though. From then on, it's like a
because
weird
you know
thing
him as
where
a person, not a
Yeah.
sex object.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
question I had. Is you go in there and you don't ask them about their porn
No.
movies so much, but
Not really.
you find out more about them as a real person,
Yeah.
which not
Right.
everybody would do. They would constantly be trying to hit them up for a visit or find out what's their favorite position or whatever. But
Yeah.
you actually get information out of them about who they are and not what
Right.
they've done.
As a
Yeah.
person.
That's
not-
Yeah,
that's
'cause I
fascinating. I like
mean,
that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a million podcasts that are like dedicated to like
Just-
porn, basically.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what's your favorite position? It's like all those kind of bullshit. It's like questions you'd see like written on something at like Spencer's Gifts, you know? So
Yeah.
which I don't. I mean, I do
It's
ask like
low-hanging
some
fruit.
of those.
And you
Yeah,
can
it's
find-
So to
very.
speak.
And you can find all that
Yes.
in their videos anyways. What they
Yeah.
like better too.
Which I mean, I do ask some questions like that. Like if there's something
yeah.
specific that I find to be kind of interesting, like stuff with like fetishes and kinks and stuff, I think is fascinating.
Yeah.
So I do ask questions about that.
But the
it's
whole
not
episode isn't
like-
based on that, is what I'm saying.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Right. And I definitely try to, just make it like we're just hanging out and talking.
Yeah, you bring them to a real, like people view them as a real person, not just an object anymore, and
Yeah.
that's very fascinating to see that, and I love to see that because when I first started watching them, I was like, wait a minute, she kind of looks like she could be a porn star, and then I looked it up and I was like, yep, she is.
Yep.
You took that veil of that cloak of mysteriousness off of it, and I was watching her as a real person, then found out she was a porn star, and then I was like, that's refreshing to see it that way.
Yeah. Well,
It's a
thank
different.
you.
You
Yeah.
put it into a different perspective. That's the word I'm looking
Well,
for.
that's what kind of how it started was I got into like a pretty big argument with a friend, one of my friend's girlfriends, who she was saying how like but we just got in an argument about porn, or we were talking about porn, and then it got into an argument about how like she was saying that they're all like disgusting and
right.
drug addicts and they're being like manipulated into doing all of it. Like I was
Kifa thing.
yeah.
So you're
She
just
was
like you're gonna go out and prove them wrong.
Well, I was just in my head, I was like, well, I don't think that's probably the case for like the really famous ones. Like maybe there's probably some like underground, like low level stuff where there's sleazy things going
Yeah,
on.
the
I'm
casting
sure.
couch will promise you a
Yeah.
career, and then you don't get it.
Right.
Yeah.
But like the mainstream
I like fake
stuff.
fake taxi.
Fake
Yeah,
taxi.
yeah.
Oh my
Well,
god.
like that mainstream stuff is like, I was like, there's no way it's like that. So I was just sort of reaching out to people to see if they would like talk about just kind of like what it's like not, necessarily like have a conversation about sex, but like a conversation about just like, what's your day to day like?
Yeah.
Like, is that accurate? Like, are there like, do people have misconceptions about you because you're inborn? Like, just random stuff like that. And then they were just fun to talk to. Like
They have personalities.
Yeah.
they're the nicest people to talk to
Not
on the
just a
planet.
sex object.
Well,
Yeah,
because they're
they're
more accepting to
without a
different
doubt.
lifestyles than anything.
And more open to talk about stuff, which I don't ask
Exactly.
like crazy personal questions or anything,
No.
but like they're way more open to talk, like way more outgoing, easy to talk to.
Yeah.
Like actors are weird to talk to. Like they're not
They're
Well,
still in the world
easy
of
to talk to.
pretend.
A lot of them are stuck up, especially Nicolas
right-
Cage.
Yes.
I heard he's like one of the biggest dicks
well,
in
he does,
Hollywood.
I mean, he has every right to be. That'd be one that I would love to have Nicolas Cage on the on a podcast.
That
Yeah.
would be dope to ask him about certain things, like hey, when you were going to do Ghost Rider, I heard
That's what I was thinking about.
I heard that it was going to be somebody else, and you end up getting the role or whatever.
Yeah.
$1 million questions that
Yeah.
everyday Joes like us are wanting to know.
the over the top
Yeah.
performance I think he did in Wicker Man, I believe.
Wicker Man. Yeah.
They say that's like the most over the top performance that he's ever done or some shit. I've never
Well,
seen the movie, but I've watched.
I
videos
own a
on
copy.
it.
I own a copy of that movie Willy's Wonderland, where he never says a
Oh, yeah.
word.
Oh,
and
yeah.
rumor is they're gonna try and do a part 2. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but
Yeah.
Now,
that'd be kind of cool.
Now, wasn't that supposed to be Five Nights at Freddy's? I think.
Okay, it's almost like a
same.
play on Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, well,
Five
that's
Nights at
what
Freddy's
Five
was.
Nights at Freddy's is. Yeah, it's the exact. It's very very similar.
Yeah, it came out before Five Nights at Freddy's, but it was
not much. It's very.
It's
like
not much before. It was.
It's an
real
Armageddon
close.
Deep Impact kind of thing.
Exactly.
Where both those
Yes.
movies came out like right around each other, and they're the same, or like Tombstone and Wyatt Earp.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I remember I watched Wyatt Earp with my dad. There was 2 tapes, VHS. That was like the boringest fucking movie. I don't give a fuck about Wyatt Earp as growing up as a kid.
Yeah, that Kevin Costner one sucks.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would definitely choose Tombstone over it any day of the week. I remember
Tombstone is so much better.
I remember having Braveheart on VHS. That was 2 VHS tapes. I remember having
Titanic.
Demolition Man
Well, that's
on
another-
Laserdisc, which you had to flip that whole fucking thing over. What a technology that was.
Yeah.
Now, I do have a question for you. On one of your episodes, you were talking about you have a bit of autism. And,
I don't know.
Does that? I mean, how does that affect your podcasting, or how do you write your episodes, and like, or do you just use it to like your benefit to do that?
I don't know if I actually have autism. I'll just be. I was kind of just joking that. I mean, I do think
I
I'm
was
kind
curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do think I might be a little spectrumy because.
Hell, I thought I was on a spectrum. I'm somewhere.
Analytical, I mean, I'm a little like at times too analytical, too obsessive.
Yes.
Yes.
Very. I have a tendency to lose track of time.
Yes.
Like doing a task and then realizing it's been 8 hours, and I thought it was like an hour and a half. Yeah, which I don't know if that's like.
I'll sit there and
That's
I'll be
not
like, okay,
autism
I
at
wake
all.
up and I want to get the living room clean, and then I want to go clean out the car, or I want to go do this, or I got this project, and then I over fantasize about getting 30 things done in a 2-hour window that's impossible.
right.
And it's not going to happen. And I know I do.
So
I'm
I
the
think
same.
I do the same, and I lose track of time. And
It's more of an AD. That's like what
ADHD.
we're talking about is more of an ADHD kind of thing.
so maybe I
'Cause,
got
like,
that then.
yeah, I think that's more like what I have is that. I mean, I just say autism as a joke because but it does kind of sometimes it feels very autism-ish. Like I get kind of, I mean, I have like sensory stuff where like it's hard for me to be in a restaurant with like
Crowded
too many
people.
noises. But it's not even yes, for sure that, but also. Even if there's not necessarily a crowd of people, but like if you go to like a restaurant, like in Texas, 1 million different Tex-Mex restaurants. And for some fucking reason, every one of these restaurants has Christmas lights hanging up 24/7, no matter what time of year it is.
What?
And they're blinking and flashing Christmas lights. And then there's music playing. There's a TV playing a soccer game, like all those different things going on at once.
Sensory
It, like,
overload.
I have horrible sensory overload, which I
Fascinating.
think is a sign of like, Asperger's, autism. So, I might be like slightly on the scale, but I don't think I'm,
It
definitely
doesn't
not
ruin
autistic.
your life.
Yeah,
No, I'm not. I mean, I'm not even. I've never been like seen
Studied
by
or
a doctor
whatever.
about it.
Yeah, me
no, but
neither.
I would bet a lot of money that they would say, yeah, you do not have autism.
I know.
Like,
I'm having
yeah.
a physical next week, and I'm gonna get some tests done. And
Your
shit, so
boss did
it's-
give you meat from work. Your boss gave you his meat, and now you're having a physical with another doctor's like,
Jesus.
gotcha.
Yeah, no, I seen it on. You had mentioned on the other episode, so I was like, oh, it's kind of curious.
Yeah.
I don't think we want to take up too much more of your time.
I don't know. Is there? I mean, everybody can reach you on Instagram, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you have a Facebook. I didn't look that far into it.
I
I'm a
do.
fan
I
of your
mean, I-
YouTube and your Instagram.
Yeah.
That's where I
Yeah.
get my feed from you.
Yeah, YouTube and Instagram's perfect. I mean, I do have one. I just don't use it. Like
we have
I
one
I
too,
put
and
it-
it's like we post stuff on there, but it's like we don't
Mhm.
really get a lot of traffic there.
yeah, I post on the Facebook, and it. I mean, it does decent. It's just that I don't like Facebook as much as I like Instagram. Like I'm
Yeah.
not gonna go through and scroll Facebook.
I get that
you
dopamine
know.
hit from the 30-second clips or the how do you know when to cut the clip on your Instagram and you're doing the subtitles on them and it's like that's through the Adobe Pro that does the subtitles?
No. Instagram does the subtitles.
Huh, I'm going to have to
Yeah, you
dive
can
into that.
when you upload a reel on Instagram, you can pick like to add captions.
Well, I
and
do
it
that with
takes-
the music sometimes, but I don't do it with
Well, yeah, so that same exact thing with music, you can do that with like your audio because it's uploading your audio separate
Okay.
from the video usually because like it'll say on there like your name, original audio,
Yeah.
or if you have music, it's that artist's music. And yeah, they caption your audio for you. So yeah, it's not perfect. So like I have to go in and kind of like
Clip it
change,
and
or change some words, like change spelling and stuff. But for the most part, yeah, it's easier than it seems like it is if you just
yeah.
like I'm very much a work smarter, not harder type person.
Exactly.
So
I
I'll
see
take
you.
any shortcut I
Yes.
need to take, as long as it doesn't like, I mean, not to like make it look like shit or something.
No,
but
no.
I
but-
will take every shortcut possible.
Yeah, me too. If I have a easier way to get it done faster and better, and then I get free time to research what we're gonna do next, or throw ideas at
Yeah.
him or something, I definitely do it. And then people will watch it like, how did you do that? That turned out amazing. Like the interview I chopped up and put into perfection, well, as close as I could in the timeline we had with the cheeseburgers was like 20 to 30 hours worth of work, and
Yeah.
people watching like, hey, that turned out great. And I thought it turned out like shit because I was like, I wanted to do so much more editing and clipping and make it, as polished as like the big guys do. And
Yeah.
everybody's giving us praise for it. And I'm like, well, thank you. But inside I'm like, I could have done better.
You know what?
Yeah, I know.
Speaking of the cheeseburgers, I had messaged them last night, telling them, the interview came out really well. Really appreciate you guys coming down. Marissa, I would love to pick your brain for ideas on the way you write. And they responded back just right now. Yeah, thanks. We're very pleased with the interview too. Flattered you want to know more about writing process. Mainly I get inspired by everyday things, see where the muse will take me. Also use rhyme zones for inspiration on rhyming words. No further, just add music unless the music is written first.
Huh.
So, as a writer, I like to, so I do like to do the shortcut. And sometimes it's like, fuck. The next day I find something, I'm like, shit, why didn't I use that? Or how come I didn't know that? I mean, it's...
So when you're done doing your clips and you put it out there and you're like, okay, boom, done. And then do you ever have that second thought of like, fuck, I forgot to include this?
Yeah, I used to, but now I watch them like 3 or 4 times before I even...
Yeah.
Well, no. Shit, probably 10 to... I mean, by the
10
time
to
I'm
20.
like... Yeah, by the time I've like edited it and sent it to myself and all that stuff, I've probably seen that clip at least 10 to 15 times. So I feel like I'm going to catch something before. But I used to not see them nearly as often.
Yes.
So I would definitely be like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, or I shouldn't have cut there, or like, oh, that audio is really weird right there. Like, I now catch those things ahead of time.
When we had like 2-minute intros, 2-minute outros, we were doing full songs intros or partial song intros and partial full song outros. And I would edit it to put different scenes together, and I would hear the theme song that we'd had running the whole time. I would hear it 20 to 30 times. By the time it was done and I was happy with it and sent it out, my kid would be walking in and I'd be saying, fuck, I'm tired of hearing that song and it's one of my favorites. And he goes, you always say that. I'm like, yeah, wait till you start editing videos. Then you'll get tired of hearing your own shit 30 fucking times in a row. But the people who watch it once or twice and you get all those hits, they're fascinated by it. They could watch it 20, 30 times, but they haven't watched it 20, 30 times in the perspective of editing the living shit out of it.
Right.
So,
yeah, exactly.
Can't thank you enough for coming on, dude. I'm absolutely over the fucking moon, not to be dramatic about it, but I can't believe you said yes. Huge fucking fan. I'm gonna email you a copy of the whole thing in case you weren't recording, or if you were, and that way you have.
I wasn't
intro.
recording.
I got a whole copy. I record on OBS while we do it, and that way I'll email you a whole copy so you can chop it up for however you're gonna use it. and
Okay.
then I'm gonna throw it on our YouTube channel. And for those of you watching live, this is the motherfucking Cody Tucker. For Ready Player U, I'm Mike.
Get us the interview with DDP. I'm Matt.
And can't believe we got you on here. This has been legendary morning for us, and afternoon for you, even though you're in Texas. We're super jealous. Make sure you give us a follow, a like, a subscribe. Make sure you follow Cody Tucker. Like, subscribe. Find him on Instagram. His details are in the outro. Anything you want to say to your audience that's watching here on Rumble, I invite you to come over to rumble.com and create an account because you get a lot more freedom and you get less censorship than YouTube. But anything you got for your fans out there that inspire them to get going?
Just keep a wrinkle in it. That's usually about it. No, they'll do what they do, and no business of mine. So. Yeah.
Appreciate having you on, man. Huge fan. Can't thank you enough. Thank
you so much. This has been fun.
All right, brother.
Thanks,
see you.
man.
We'll see you later, man.
All right.
Later.
Thank
All right.
you, man. Bye.
See you guys on the next one.
They remember on the ground who have never seen the sun, but they really know